Hello, everyone, and welcome here to Windham. Nick and Astis with you, getting set for the Windham Jaguars to host the Winnacunnet Warriors. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week, and it's presented by Beals Insurance, along with Roger Howe, and a whole lot of wind and a gathering crowd here in Jaguar country. Wyndham, the home team, looking for their first win under head coach Joe Young, while Winnacunnet and Pat Snow's group, they're looking to stay unbeaten after a 2-0 week to begin the 2021 campaign. Overcast skies, as I mentioned, the wind rattling around here may or may not be a factor, but as we welcome in Roger Howe, these two teams, both kind of budding programs at the Division II level and trying to make their mark in a landscape that is still very much wide open as we enter week number 2.
Yeah, that's true, Nick. Division II has changed, dramatically. Teams coming up, teams going down, things like that. But one thing I do know, I fully admit, as I did before the broadcast today, that I don't know much about Windham. But I do have a very long history with Winnacunnet, and they've always been a very strong team. They've been a mainstay in Division II for quite some time. Made their first appearance in the championship game 2 years ago against Derryfield. They haven't. I know they've made the playoffs several times, but as far as making it to that final game, that was the first time in 2019. They play a pretty steady, predictable brand of defense, that I do know. It should be an interesting game to see what Windham can do here. Windham's coming off 2 losses to probably, if not one of the top 4 teams in Division II, Portsmouth, last week. And they're always tough. So this will be a good rebound game for them to see what they can do against another quality Division II team. Yeah,
Windham able to hang tough with Portsmouth in a home-and-home series, but it did end up in the end on the wrong side of an 11-5 and 8-6 final to begin at 0-2. And, well, that seems to be the consensus. Not a lot of people do know much about Windham. You throw in the fact, of course, that we didn't play any lacrosse at all in 2020. A lot of these teams are harder to scout. One advantage that Winnacunnet may have is the return of 9 seniors and 10 sophomores that were a part of that program 2 years ago that was in the championship game against Derryfield. So one of the more experienced upper-class groups at the hands of Pat Snow here with Winnacunnet.
And as we noted, before the telecast, that they've got 6 players on the all-state watch list, and so out of those 6, all 6 of them are seniors. So when you've got that kind of strength in numbers at the upper levels, especially when you throw in the loss of COVID last year, it could make a big difference in the outcome here. One of the things I did want to note too, if I may, is how many games where the schedule last week had back-to-backs. The second game, and you mentioned it a little bit on the Sunday program as well, where the second game was dramatically
much more competitive.
Close,
sure,
dramatically close. The Bedford game, the Winnacunnet game they played, and Windham against Timberlane, right? Exactly, Timberlane, and then of course Windham.
Yeah, speaking of the Warriors, they blew out the Owls on the road to open up the season. To your point, Roger, 12-3. Yet 2 days later, the Owls came back to force triple overtime before Winnacunnet ultimately prevailed 7-6. Is that, from a coaching standpoint, is that maybe the second time around? Player, I guess, as a player as well, you know more what to expect when the opponent is the same, and perhaps adjustments are made. Even though you only have 2 days to make those adjustments, it's perhaps easier once you've seen the action, you know what to expect the second time around.
Yeah, I think so. This early in the season,
tough to tell.
It's tough to tell because you probably don't have any film on anybody that's of worth to do any type of pre-scouting. What I do find interesting is that the blowout game against Timberlane was at Timberlane. Yet Timberlane turns around 2 days later and goes over to Winnacunnet, over to Hampton, and they make it a 3 overtime game. That was and it was strange. I was listening to or watching it on Twitter. I was watching the first overtime, second overtime, third overtime, and I was just amazed that Timberlane turned things around so dramatically.
Yeah, credit to the Owls, and some things are expected of them as well this season. So Windham at 0-2 after a couple of tough losses against Portsmouth, hoping to right the ship here on apparently Senior Day, as we have some festivities going on down here on the field. First of all, Windham, they always do a good job with the senior festivities. Doesn't matter the sport, doesn't matter the season, whether or not there's a COVID-19 situation. They're going to make it happen. We've got dogs down here. We've got flowers. It's all good. And kudos again to Mike McCaffrey and his staff down here. They always roll out the welcome mat for us. And obviously as a player, especially as a senior, it's a memorable experience.
Yes, indeed. And I'm glad that these boys are getting to experience that. The ones that graduated last year didn't have a senior year, missed out on that. Although Windham only has 4 seniors here, it's good that those boys get to experience it for sure.
Yeah, so we've got that going on. We might as well take the time to remind you that coming up this week, busy week with us here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. We'll, on Thursday, be in Derry for the latest chapter in perhaps the sport's best rivalry, at least here in the state at the D1 level. That's BG at Pinkerton. We got underway at about 5:15 or so. The game begins at 5:30 Eastern Time. That, of course, will be a rematch of round 1, which occurs tonight in Nashua. So we'll be there for round 2, so to speak, Thursday in Derry at 5:30. And then on the girls' side, we'll be in Manchester for Derryfield and Goffstown on Friday afternoon. That's a 4 o'clock start. So make sure you tune in there. And then, of course, a reminder on Sunday mornings, it's the FNL NH Lacrosse Show presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We'll carve up everything that occurred this week, gets you some exclusive interviews, as we always do. That's again Sunday at 9. And, of course, if you have not subscribed to the channel, do yourself a favor, do us a favor as well. We're on YouTube at FNL NH Media. Again, on YouTube at FNL NH Media. Well, again, the senior festivities going on here for Windham. And let's break down the Jaguars a little bit here, Roger. At least from what we know, they do have some skilled players, including Nathan Levine, the senior midfielder, on the All-State watch list and on his way to Syracuse to play some high-level D1 lacrosse. And then right behind him on the All-State watch list is junior midfielder Alex Ryan. I suppose it all starts with those two young men for Coach Joe Young.
And watching them at the beginning of the warm-up here today, this guy Levine, I can't wait to watch him play. He is a little bit smaller than what we saw the other night with Riley Lawthorne, but he's a shooter. He's got some steam behind his shot. Alex Ryan, who was feeding him while they were warming up the goalies, right off the bat, I could tell he's got some stick skills, and it should be very, very exciting to watch them. I imagine they're going to be on the first line together, like we saw the other night against Derryfield and Souhegan, the way Derryfield started off, they went right out there with their first line midfield without protecting the backside with a pole. Off the face-off to go right into offense. So I want to see what Joe Young does here with Levine and Ryan on that first face-off.
And then Winnacunnet, you mentioned their brand of defense, their physical team, as we know, and employ that zone no matter what the look very well.
Yeah. When I was coaching at Bedford, we always prepped for them in a different way because they did play zone. They were one of, if I recall, the other very, very well-run zone team was St. Thomas Aquinas. When Barry Katz was there, it was all zone all the time. It's been that way at Winnacunnet for as long as I've seen them, but it's a pretty simple zone. I mean, it's not a backer zone. It's not a string zone or anything like that. It's one of those zones. It's a 3-3 straight up. They'll stay pretty disciplined, but the key to making that work is all 6 players, the goalie included, have got to be communicating, and they've got to be ratcheting and pistoning out and back wherever the ball is moving away from them. And if they're not doing that and they're leaving gaps in the zone, that's where they're going to have trouble with a guy like Levine, who can shoot from the outside clearly, and is going to be able to find a seam and make it tough for Windham. For Winnacunnet.
Yeah, so kind of a contrast in styles. I guess whenever you match up with a team like Winnacunnet, you may need that extra day or a couple days to get ready for that look, because it is so unique.
Yes,
all right, coming up, it's game time here in Windham. Warriors looking for another win on this young season. Well, Windham on Senior Day looking for their first victory of the season. Right back to Windham in just a moment. You're watching the Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. All right, underway here, or just about, in Windham. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. Warriors in their road blues. They'll work left to right in this first quarter. The home team, the Jaguars, in their home whites. Face-off win for Winnacunnet. It's Lawrence Trinseri, one of the 6 Warriors on the preseason All-State watch list. The face-off man gets Winnacunnet off to a good start here as they control it out of the gate. Face-off circle, obviously important. The X always a factor in any game, and Winnacunnet trying to set the tone in that regard early on.
Just feeling it out here. Nothing crazy.
I think the Jaguars giving some room here.
Yeah, they're in a zone too. They're starting off in a zone.
Well, both teams going to poke and prod here against what expected to be 4 quarters worth of zone from Winnacunnet.
Yep. Well,
may see a change up from Windham at some point.
Yeah, they're back to man.
Trying to get off the screen there. Fires high and out of play. Winnacunnet will restart things. Minute in the books. First trip for the Warriors. Now going to make a move to the far side. Has a cutter. Pass poked away and then scooped up by one of the 4 Windham seniors. That's Dan Charest, and he's going to ride it all the way for the clear. So good stop for the Jaguars, and now the attack going to set up for the first time as they work right to left. With a minute and a half gone by. This is Levine here, the player to watch, the Syracuse commit. Number 18 in white on the near side wing. And again, the Warriors opening up, Roger, in that 3-3 zone as we predicted, as you predicted.
Yeah.
Here's Alex Ryan, the junior, trying to show the quickness far side. Windham going to pull it back out here to the top of the box.
Big defenders on the front line there.
There's Matthew O'Connor, junior attackman, now deep behind the cage for Evan Conley. Another junior. That seems to be their strongest class, perhaps, at least numbers-wise. Ryan To his right, cut off. Good recovery. That's Benjamin Merrick, one of the seniors, drawing that initial matchup out of the zone. Now Levine to his right on the run, absorbs a hit, eye on the cage, fakes a pass. Now behind the cage, coming near side with it. Winnacunnet going to continue to switch up.
Pretty disciplined zone there, too.
Here's Hall. Right side shot and score. It's Sawyer Hall, the senior. Saw an angle he liked there, Roger. Went low on the goaltender and puts the Jaguars in front 1-0.
Yeah, he started his dodge to the right, and the zone didn't really have a guy for him to pass off to, so the defensive midfielder, they just got a step on him, and he was able to get a good release on that. That's what's tough about this. If you have good ball movement on the outside of the zone and you can overload on one side, it can easily confuse the defense. Levine on the faceoff here.
Yeah, and a win. They're leaving things at 1-1 at the X, and now a chance for the Jaguars to build on the momentum. Meanwhile, overcast skies here in southern New Hampshire. A little bit of rain beginning to drop as Levine got the step, shot a little off target. Good recovery behind the net. Now Ryan trying to fidget up top, going to be driven back, and the Jaguars will reset. In goal for Winnacunnet, Carter Renaud. Renaud, a senior, and again one of the 6 in blue on the All-State watch list. Now pass goes astray. It is recovered in the near corner. This is Conley. And now on the dodge is Drew Denton, good sophomore. Move. Good step, good pass, and then a stop at the net.
Great play.
Ground ball far side, quickly scooped up by the Jaguars yet again. Ryan up top. Trying to get to his right, double teamed, trying to keep his balance. Leaves it up top, feeding middle, and there it is. Play. Soft spot, it's Denton on the finish. Drew Denton makes it 2-0 Jaguars.
So there was, it almost looked like they were in man there for a second because they started to double up top, and the minute the double had gotten the midfielder far enough outside the box there, he didn't recover quickly enough, which left the center of the crease open. And Denton was right there. He didn't.
Good pass from Hall as well.
Indeed.
On the assist. And this is the team, or rather the start, the home team was looking for 2-0 Windham. Warriors, they come back with a face-off win and have won now 2 of the 3. 4 minutes gone by. Rain starting to fall here in Windham. Have been clear skies most of the day. Got cloudy a couple hours ago. Windy as well, and now unfortunately starting to rain a little bit. We'll see if it lasts. Meanwhile, Warriors on just their second trip. Looking for their first shot on goal. Here's a good step. Going to keep it.
Good defense.
This is Cole Fisher, the senior, and now back over near side on the wing. Trying to find his way middle is Benjamin Chase. Another one of these 9 Winnacunnet seniors. Nearly 5 minutes gone by. Warriors hoping to get on the board. Taking their time here on possession number 2 behind the cage. Shake and bake. This is Caleb White. One of the few sophomores getting some time here at the varsity level. Up top, Chase again to his right. Well, Windham communicating well here defensively, Roger, and there's just nothing there. So far, anyway, for Winnacunnet.
No.
Trying to change that to his right. Goes Fisher. Shot kind of flew out of his stick, out of bounds. It will stay, though, at this end.
Yeah, I gotta commend the freshman Trudell out there on long pole. He's covering Chase, and he's doing a good job. There's
a shot from the wing that's going to go wide. Well, we mentioned Jack Ellis and Cole Fisher, 2 of the senior leaders, attacking midfield respectively. 2 of the bigger bodies, 2 of the bigger, taller athletes out there on either team. There's a nice shot from a tough angle. Count it for Caleb White, the sophomore. Able to sneak it by and put the Warriors on the board here. It comes at nearly the midway point first quarter, now 2-1 Windham.
Hey, nothing fancy there. Nothing fancy there. That was a one-on-one with the attackman. He got looked like just a single step over goal line extended, and he just went low. Good play. Good play by the attackman.
And snuck it by Stanley Jazokos, the senior goaltender, along that far pole. Meanwhile, ground ball off the face-off. It is scooped up far side into the sticks of James O'Hara, point guard on the basketball team. Great multi-sport athlete. Gets to the ground ball there, which does not surprise me after seeing him play all winter. He's a hard-nosed kid. He's given Winnacunnet, or helped to give the Warriors an advantage early on at the face-off X, 3-4, 3 out of 4 have gone to the boys in blue. Meanwhile, a step far side. This is Fisher. We'll work it behind the cage yet again. White. And now back again near side for Chase. Chase looking for a screen. Yep. Good switch off the screen defensively for Windham. Fisher.
He gave it up.
Firing. A couple inches over the crossbar. And again, he'll stay at this end. Well, Warriors have been patient, and yet so have the Jaguars defensively. Extended trip here. Winnacunnet looking to tie the game, and they will. And there is that using the frame.
Yeah.
Jack Ellis.
Yeah.
The senior ties the game at 2.
Yeah, you know, there's a number of matchups out there in these last 2 series where the Warriors have had the huge advantage over the weight and height, and that was just a good bull dodge right through the center.
Yeah, evident there. He's not sure what he's listed at, but I would say maybe 6'2", 200 plus probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely 200 plus.
Yep. Meanwhile, this one on the ground. Levine in the mix for Windham. Long pole trying to get to it on both sides, and then it is scooped up. This is Adam Burke, the junior long stick midi. And then he lost it, had it poked loose from behind, and now it's in the stick of the goaltender. Outlet taken near side. This is Sean Wools, the junior. Wools' pass a little high, but eventually corralled by Cooper Kinnelly. Kinnelly with the long pole throws a low pass near side that's scooped up just above the grass by Chase, who's going to bring it back middle. Chase still with it. We're inside of 5 minutes here on a windy Tuesday afternoon. Opening quarter. Winnacunnet. They've scored now 2 unanswered goals. Looking for a third here, and also looking for their first lead after falling behind 2-0. Chase gives it up. This is Kimball. Far side now for Benjamin Merrick. Pass goes astray, scooped up deep behind the cage. Trying to make a spin. White to his right. Sets up a shot that's going to whiz wide. And out of play in the corner. Foot race, they'll give it to Winnacunnet.
Pretty basic offenses being run here. Nothing crazy. Just a simple pick off the corners. And
you've seen Winnacunnet run that pick here on the near wing a few times.
Yes. Not a lot down low, but I mean mostly up high.
This is White behind the cage again for Ellis. Ellis, far side, going to turn, fires off the pole. Gets his own miss, then lost it. Ground ball, scooped up again by the Warriors. It's Merrick. Well, ground ball advantage early has gone to Winnacunnet, especially the last few minutes.
Yeah.
3.5 to go, first quarter.
Got an opening. 2 guys
coming
on
right, shot, a little wide. Went wide left there, tried to hug it along that far pole again. Warriors in a position to extend the trip.
Chase drew 3 defenders there and had the whole opposite side wide open.
Ellis draws a double team on the far pole. Going to fire a shot anyway. It's going to go dribbling out of bounds here near sideline. And again, the officials say we're going to stay here. White going to restart. Windham going to press out a little bit, but they've packed it in pretty tightly here in this first quarter in general.
Yeah, they're playing pretty good man-to-man defense right now. They're not getting beat too often.
Fisher looking for a cutter. In and out of the stick of White. Recovered, though, by Winnacunnet. Back out far wing.
Good
collision,
defense.
step, shot. Bouncer goes just a bit wide of that far pole and out of play again behind the cage.
Good defense by Desmarais there. He stood him right up and stopped him in his tracks.
Now Charest able to sacrifice the body as well. Now Charest, the defender behind the cage, trying to keep up. Shot from up top, again wide. You heard the equipment jam there on the release. Pretty good look there, though, for Ellis, who continues to look for that green light.
Boy, he finds his mark on that. That's going to be a good outside shot for him.
White going to restart to his right, looks for a pick. Near side. Trying to body up Ellis. Shaking bait, goes near side with the shot. It goes off the netting.
Yep, in the crease.
And then a crease violation finally is going to give this one back to Windham. Charest, with the hair flowing out from behind the helmet, decides to keep it himself.
Good wheels. Good wheels.
Going to stop, going to start again. And now the Windham attack going to set up after being dormant the last few minutes. We hit the 2-minute mark, still tied at 2 here in this opening quarter. This is Hall. Hits the pause button far side. I think he's getting some direction from Coach Young on that sideline. Levine and Ryan. Sawyer near side. Sawyer Hall, rather. Just a basic weave here, it looks like.
Ryan.
Now going to fire. It's Ryan who's wide. Good foot race there by Winnacunnet's Evan Conley will keep it here. Conley will restart. Wind howling, as you can hear. Temperature's still relatively warm, though.
Good tight zone here. Winnacunnet.
Really packed in well. Levine going to shoot. It goes high.
You know you're running your zone properly when you're getting nothing but outside shots. And that's what that creates. Forces the offense to shoot on the outside.
Ryan looking for some kind of an angle coming right. Still looking now. Will fire it low.
Yeah.
Takes a bounce well wide.
Yeah, I'd like to see them come out a little bit more on the shooters here. They're packing it in, but they're also stepping in with the offense.
Final minute, first quarter. Jaguars scored the first 2 goals of the game, looking for perhaps the final goal of this first quarter. Hoping to reestablish the lead as well. But no cracks to be found here in this blue wall. This zone from Winnacunnet. Levine going to try his way at the top. Little 2-man game with Ryan continues. And we're down to 30 seconds.
New call here.
Ryan given plenty of room, far wing. Up top, Levine thought about it. Good closeout by the long pole. He goes back now far side, trying to lower that shoulder. Looking back up top for Ryan. Final 15 seconds. Ryan.
Discipline.
Fires to his
Nice
right.
save.
Good stop. That one loose and eventually scooped up by the goaltender, Renaud. Great play. Renaud going to wing it wildly down the field. Final 2 seconds, final 1 second, and that's going to do it. A good opening quarter, really, for both teams. We're tied at 2 after 1. Right back to Windham in just a moment. You're watching the Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Levine, is it? Big V.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. He is going to Syracuse, though, right?
Thank you.
He is going to Syracuse, right?
Back here for the second quarter. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe, And a 2-2 game after one. Third game on the schedule for both of these teams. The Jaguars, a back-to-back loss against Portsmouth on the road and at home, a home-and-home series. It seems to be the theme of the schedule here in this post-pandemic landscape. Home-and-home, and, the Windham. They wanted to put all that in the rearview mirror. The 0-2 record, they got out to a 2-0 start, a 2-0 start. Sawyer Hall, and then Drew Denton combining for the first 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. Winnacunnet then responded and really dominated the time of possession for a while, with Caleb White and Jack Ellis scoring to tie the game at 2. How do things look in your mind here after 1, Roger?
I was impressed with the defenses on both sides. Obviously, Windham's playing man. They stood their opponents up. They didn't get beat too often on the corners, which is important. But I expect to see something here on offense from Windham. If Coach Young has got some different sets, I'd like to see them go into something 2-2. Maybe even a 1-4-1, clog up the middle a little bit, get a little bit more going on in the inside, so that the guys that are pumping in and out on this zone have to really be sharp, and that's how I would play this. But let's see what happens here.
Yeah, both teams have really stuck to their principles defensively, and it's been tough to find any kind of room to work, really.
He is in a semi 2-2 here, actually. We'll see what Ryan does on the other side here.
Teams, of course, switching ends. Windham now working left to right in this second quarter.
Oh.
Pass high, but scooped up by Levine. Not Levine, by the way. I apologize for mispronouncing it. It's Nathan Levine, the senior headed to Syracuse, who got the shot off there a moment ago. Good stop by Renaud. He's held up pretty well in net so far for Windham. Pass across the zone, knocked down by the long pole.
Wow.
Good defensive play by Max Fowler, the freshman. And now a clear attempt. And a good job by O'Hara here near side. O'Hara with the step. He's got Levine breathing down his neck, and Levine pokes it loose. O'Hara trying to recover. That goes out of his stick back towards midfield.
Over and back.
And then an over and back violation is going to give this to Windham. A little more transition action than we saw in that first period, Roger, with a minute and a half gone by. Meanwhile, Hall, unaccompanied, takes a shot from about 10 yards out that goes a little wild. Foot race will result in Winnacunnet possession.
Yeah, I like the check over here on the Windham side. The pole doubled up with Levine and had a nice takeaway, which put the ball on the ground, and now we're back.
Pass middle. Misfired and scooped up by Charest. Charest, foot race far side. Got the Jaguars back in operation mode here. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter.
Charest has been a one-man clearing show for.
That's 3 by my count.
That's 3, exactly.
Hard to miss him. He's got that 1980s rock star hair flowing out of the back of the helmet.
He's got the flow. He
may have the best hair in the league. Meanwhile, this one, again, Levine having to really stretch out to pull that one in. Not Levine, but Levine. May take me a minute. Here he is.
Okay, doubled up on the crease, Nick.
Yep. And the Winnacunnet defense aware of where number 18 in white is, really at all times, I'd imagine. Far side, Ryan.
Want to be
switches spots with Levine. Thought about a shot. Comes near side for Hall.
There's the
back
opening.
Door, and there's the shot off the post. Loose behind the cage. Still loose. O'Connor, the man who fired the shot in the hunt. And now a whistle and a crease violation, I think, right?
No, push.
Oh, push.
Push. Yep. Going to stay white. Boy, I like that turn with O'Connor. That's what you want to do with these zones. You want to find that little seam, that little crease. And there was just enough space for him.
He was camped out along the near pole, kind of undetected, and
exactly
ended up with a pretty good shot. Meanwhile, a good pass in the middle, but again, unable to pull it in, and then Winnacunnet takes advantage with another ground ball. They'll clear it on the run. This is Wools. And now a timeout coming from the sideline as Winnacunnet wants to talk it over.
Yeah, I don't know who that defender was, Nick, in the middle there, but clearly fell asleep. he should not have been that open with the defenders down packing in. And I noticed what you had just said, that O'Connor was creeping in on goal line. That far side defender is supposed to be the second slide to help in the middle there, and he was still open. So we had somebody that was just...
That makes me think he was unaware of it.
Yeah,
right?
He was unaware of it. Yeah.
Well, a good start to this second quarter as both teams kind of get their legs underneath them. Is that something to keep an eye on as a coach as well? Do you kind of change up the strategy as the players get the blood flowing and the game continues?
Yeah, absolutely. I never was a fan of just, staying static and not trying to mix things up and make corrections, that sort of thing. Joe Young has done that on offense here so far, because we are seeing a little bit of a 2-2 morph coming out of a 3-3, which is what you want to do when you're trying to zone break, when you want to try and break those things up and confuse the defense a little more. Saw a little lapse of discipline there on Winnacunnet's part, but that's going to be the correction that they're going to have to make here.
Warriors looking for their first lead of the game. Fell behind 2-0 in the first 4 minutes. Came back to tie it late in that first quarter. Things have been scoreless so far in this second quarter. Defense, the name of the game so far in this first half, both ways. Near side, Fisher looks for a screen to his right. Fakes the shot, trying to get the step on Charest, and then fires over the shoulder for the score. Warriors with their first lead. It comes nearly 4 minutes into this second quarter, and it puts the road team out in front 3-2.
Well, there was a quick pick up top here earlier in that sequence, and I don't think that the defender actually got back in to recover. And there was a wide lane, wide open there for Fisher. And the minute he stepped to his right, the goalie, he just was not ready for that. He just was not in a good position.
Plus the shot had a little
mustard on it.
Right.
Yep. Impressive.
Warriors are going to win this as O'Hara gets to it. They've won 4 of the 6 at the X by my count, and have also had a slight ground ball edge as well.
Yeah. Both teams play on grass, so this is not something new to one team or the other. Winnacunnet's field is very similar to this, unlike, if you were to go from turf to grass like Bedford did last week playing up at Concord.
Here's a shot, partially jammed up. Seems like most schools, at least at the D1, D2 levels, have kind of gravitated toward turf fields as opposed to grass.
Yeah.
I'm an old school fan, though. I'll always like the grass fields. Football as well.
Yeah, until it's muddy and wet and nasty and
picking rocks out of your knees after practice. I know.
Yeah, no.
Still something about it, though, I like.
Yeah, very fortunate about having turf where I came from.
Meanwhile, 5 minutes have gone by in this second quarter. Warriors have had the time of possession advantage, and they've shown patience here. They continue to do so on this trip. Seen 3 different goal scorers: Caleb White, the sophomore, and then seniors Jack Ellis and Cole Fisher a moment ago. This is Chase, got the step, shot, a bouncer, just a bit wide of that far pole and out of play. Again, we'll stay with Winnacunnet.
Another team, Nick, that is running their first-line midfielders both ways. Windham with Levine and...
Meanwhile, pushed down, losing the ball, was White. Physical play there defensively by the long pole. Oh, that's Adam Burke. Now Levine trying to clear. He's going to go right down the middle. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score. Over the shoulder, game tied at 3, and that's why he's going to Syracuse.
Indeed. That play was definitely one that you would see in college. He put it into the third gear as he crossed the timeline and was in fourth gear overdrive by the time he hit the box, and the defender at the top of the point rotated to him, and there was just no chance.
Well, you saw the momentum building, and his eyes were on one thing and one thing only, and that was the net.
Yeah, he got
on
stood
that
up.
one.
He got stood up in the defensive end for an abrupt second, and then just took off.
It comes at the midway point here, second quarter. 3-3. We are tied. And now the Jaguars get themselves another face-off win as the wind and rain continue to pick up here in Windham. The home team attack going to slow down for a moment. Coach Young from the sideline giving his guys real-time instruction here. The junior Alex Ryan waiting for his guys to get in position. Holding it far side now, it's Levine. Little poke check from O'Hara. Levine.
Casey Kramer on the midfield line with the first two first liners. He's a freshman.
Ryan to his left. Coming up at 5 minutes, second quarter. Levine. Well, again, the Warriors doing a good job communicating. Good job switching. I mean, really fundamentally sound here. And Windham showing patience, willing to wait. Ryan.
Very good. Very good.
Pass goes high. Levine going to keep it on that side of the line, scoop it up.
Good discipline on the defense here. They did not crack.
Ryan. Looking for some kind of a sack. A little bit of off-ball movement around the cage.
Now we're in 1-4 here.
Yeah. Nice pass, Levine. It goes through, though. Going to roll all the way near side. Foot race.
Other way.
Turned over. Well, there's that defensive discipline paying off for the Warriors. They look to reclaim the lead as we hit the 4-minute mark before halftime. A little bit of transition. Too much momentum there for Fowler. Nearly lost his footing. Helped out here by Fisher, and now Fisher against the long pole, Burke. No, not Burke. That's Brian Damaris, sophomore. Trying to hang with the senior, and now Winnacunnet going to work the far side of the field. White scored the first Warrior goal. Merrick. Kimball, everybody getting a touch. Back near side. Rain continuing to fall. Here's Fisher. Damaris chasing him. Behind the cage, White looking for a cutter. Nobody home. Going to keep it. And now pass goes through the legs of the intended target, Chase.
Just
barely staying in play there along the line. Now the official does rule it out of bounds and hands it over to the Jaguars. So a good stop there by Windham on perhaps an avoidable mistake by Winnacunnet. Now an updated, corrected call. It looks like is coming from the officials. They're going to give this back to Winnacunnet.
Not sure what happened there.
But I think two officials spoke.
Okay.
And reversed the call, or at least clarified it. So Warriors are going to stay at this end after all on attack, hoping to retake the advantage. They led briefly earlier in the second quarter, 3-2. But that lead lasted less than 3 minutes. Here is Fisher. Winds and fires. Out of play. Good hustle again by Ellis to get the inside position on the Jaguars' Patrick Furtado.
Kind of a plain Jane offense right now. There really isn't a lot happening out here.
Nearly losing it is Ellis. And, well, Jags had it for a moment. It's still loose far side. Going to rule it out of bounds. And now the Jaguars going to get it. Good defensive play there by Burke. Said his name a few times. 32 in white with the long stick. Coming up on the 2-minute mark before halftime. Both teams looking to break this 3-3 tie. And they're going to take their time here. Hall.
Not a tremendous ride there by Winnacunnet.
No, kind of token pressure.
Yeah.
Hall giving a little bit of room here on the near wing, and now things will be reset as we move inside of 2 minutes.
First line is back intact for Windham.
And you can hear the Winnacunnet players talking on defense as Windham continues to poke and prod on the perimeter. Patience has been the name of the game. Really both ways on both sides of the field, offense and defense.
Yes.
Final minute 20. Shake and bake, Ryan trying to break down the defense. Now Levine. Near side, it's going to be Fisher picking him up on the switch, giving him room. Trying to lure the defender, Thomas McDougall, out. Levine now to the far side. Leaves it for Ryan. Ryan thought about it. Good closeout.
A little bit more movement by the attack there.
Final minute. Hall to his right. Shot well wide. Out of play, far corner. It'll stay at this end. 50 seconds to go until halftime. Coming up at halftime, we'll recap the first half. Take a look at the schedule. A busy one here on a Tuesday afternoon. Week 2.
Ooh, rip.
Shot and score. It's Levine. Well, a great individual play there, Roger, showing off the footwork, and then able to light the lamp again, going high for his second goal.
Well, he found that seam. I mean, it was, again, an outside shot. You can't let a guy like Levine extend his hands. He worked away from the goal that time instead of the midfielders dodging towards the goal or trying to fight towards the goal. So that might have helped in terms of shaking the seam loose from the far side zone. But good spot by him. Good spot.
Meanwhile, rain continuing to fall. It's falling lightly, but definitely
an annoyance.
Classify it as a rain and not a drizzle, I think, too. Meanwhile, O'Hara gets to the ground ball off the face-off. That's now the 5th face-off win by my count for the Warriors. Timeout comes from the sideline. The second called for from head coach Pat Snow. It stops the clock with just inside of 35 seconds and a great opportunity for the Warriors to score twice in the final minute and take a 2-goal lead with them into the locker room.
Yeah, this has been a very methodical first half. Nothing crazy, nothing spectacular like we saw the other night against Derryfield Souhegan, where we were seeing a number of one-on-one and behind the backs and all kinds of different things that were happening in that game. But both teams have they found a little bit of a comfort zone with what they do, and
they haven't forced anything, and that's a credit to the players, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing offense against a zone, you almost have to get it to the other side of the field. And in this last prior series, where the ball went out of bounds to our right here, they went through the box. That was really the only forced error that I've seen for the most part this first half.
Final 30 seconds out of the timeout. Coach Snow trying to come up with a game plan here.
It's a top-heavy set here, Nick.
Trying to get his team in a 5-3 lead at half. Pass in and out of the stick, recovered though. Again, this is Fisher. Nice. Top of the box, shot there. Easily stopped in net. Jizokos. Outlet, Charest. Final 5 seconds, Charest. Across the timeline, final 2 seconds. He's going to have to hurry if he wants to shoot. Instead, his pass is broken up, and that'll do it. First half in the books here in Windham. The Warriors hoping for a 3-0 start on their way. They've got a 4-3 lead over Windham at halftime. And as you mentioned, Roger, defense really the name of the game here. Patience as well has been two of the themes both ways for both teams.
Yes, yeah, and on my scorecard when I was filling it out today, I didn't expect that we would see, a 20-15 game or anything like that. So I won't be needing another sheet of paper by the looks of it. But I got to hand it to Coach Snow here. He came out after that timeout in a stack set where he had the ball brought out from behind and had cutters coming down from the top of the box just to try and mix it up and see what he could get out of his guys. And unfortunately for the drop pass there, they might have gotten another before halftime. So seeing a little bit of a different look here, which is good.
All right, we'll step aside. Coming up at halftime, we'll recap that first half, take a look at the out-of-town schedule, get you set for that second half as well. Windham trailing Winnacunnet 4-3 at halftime. This is the Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today. Back here in Windham, start of the second half. Nick Anastas, Roger Howe.
No, I remember him.
Yeah, we
Old
love
reporter.
Roger in the fall time when it's time to talk football.
Yeah, right.
Springtime, we got Roger Howe here to guide us through the lacrosse season. 4-3 Winnacunnet at halftime. Warriors looking for a 3-0 start, while Windham hoping to avoid an 0-3 start and get their first win here on their home field on Senior Day. First quarter started on a high note for the Jaguars. Sawyer Hall opened up the floodgates about 3 minutes in, and then Drew Denton made it 2-0 nearly a minute later. Warriors about midway through the first quarter got on the board. Sophomore Caleb White, and then Jack Ellis, the senior, tied the game at 2. That's where we stood after one quarter. Warriors held their only lead to that point very briefly. Cole Fisher with his first about 2 minutes in made it 3-2 Warriors. Windham then came with back-to-back goals from Nathan Levine. And that is where we stand. Windham on top 4-3. I think I misspoke earlier and said the Warriors were out in front. But no, it's Windham 4-3. And both teams really carving out an identity defensively in that first half.
Yes, and I was impressed by both sides. Windham playing straight-up man. Looked like they had started off the game in a quick zone, but they went right into man, and same with the discipline from the Warriors. I'm really interested to see what the offenses can do here.
Face-off X has been relatively close. By my count, the Warriors won 5 of the 8.
Going to have a hold.
And this will go against Windham. Meanwhile, new goaltender for the Jaguars. It's the junior Jackson Milano, who takes over for senior Stanley Jazokos. So Milano now in net, number 25 in white for Windham. Well, we saw both defenses really disciplined in that first half. Good communication. Any expected changes from either team here defensively, or will both coaches kind of go with what worked there in that first half?
Oh, I think you go with what went well for you. Despite the one-goal difference, Windham still played well out there.
Meanwhile, flag flies here.
Broke his stick.
That was
That's Charest.
on the heels of Charest, right? He tried to put the hit on Fisher, and then the official threw the flag. Charest drops the stick, and now we do get a whistle to suspend play here with a minute gone by third quarter.
Yeah, just a quick factoid for you folks out there that don't know it. It's not like hockey where you can still play without a stick. In lacrosse, when it breaks, you must immediately drop it and exit the field. You cannot play.
So Charest down on one knee in the penalty box. First penalty either way in the game. It comes again with a minute 3 gone by in this third quarter. So the Warriors, chance to tie the game. They trail at 4-3. And have played from behind most of the way so far here on the road.
Oh, a nice play.
Nice pass, and there's the tire. It's Caleb White, his second. And White ties the game at 4, just 13 seconds into that extra man opportunity.
Yeah, that was a classic, simple extra man offense. Get the lower box rotating, and get some pressure from the corner, and you get the slide off of the box and one, and it opens it up quickly. Good pass though too. Not sure who fed White on that, but it was,
I didn't see it, but you're right. It was on target right there on the doorstep. And White able to do the rest. So White with 2 goals. He's been the Warrior answer to Windham's Nathan Levine, who has 2. Face-off win for the Jaguars. The long pole came up with it. That's Burke. He lost it. And now we have a scrum. And eventually out of the chaos comes Thomas McDougall. 87 in blue for Winnacunnet. Pass, though, too long at midfield. Another ground ball here near side. A little bit of a hit put on by White.
Got to have that ground ball in that situation.
Instead, it ends up with Ellis, and Winnacunnet has it here with a chance to take the lead 2 minutes into this third quarter. Well, we felt like unofficially that Winnacunnet may have had that ground ball advantage in the first half. And an extended ground ball here on both sides of the line ends up again with Winnacunnet. Up top, this is Fisher. Defense has had their eyes on him.
Got to have a slide here.
Trying to come near
Good
side.
save.
It's Chase
Oh,
shot,
no.
and then it gets away from one of the defenders and rolls into the goal.
I think they're going to give that to Ellis. He was closest to that.
Jacob Spallinger, one of the sophomores on defense, hanging his head after that play. I feel bad for him. It went off his leg, it looked like.
Yeah, he
And
made
perhaps-
the save. He
yeah.
made the save and just couldn't retrieve it.
Yeah, and then some friendly fire, I think, from Spallinger, who is still visibly upset. So the Warriors, in unusual fashion, who'd you have that one with?
I think it was Ellis. Ellis was the closest to that ball.
All right, we'll say it's Ellis. And
his celebratory response was indicative.
yeah, that's 94 in blue, you're right.
Oh,
So-
we're going to push. Oh,
5-4.
ground balls again. Come on, Windham. There we go.
Near side, Ryan can't quite get it. It's a long pull in the mix now for Winnacunnet. That's Wools. And it's Wools who ultimately comes away with it. Over to the goaltender, Renaud. And
Good job. Good clear.
yeah,
He's got a far side.
pass middle. This is O'Hara. He'll take it across the line. 3 minutes gone by, third quarter. Warriors looking to build on the lead. Out in front 5-4. They trailed most of that first half. The largest lead either way was very, very early in the game when it was 2-0 in favor of Windham.
Two good clears back-to-back by Winnacunnet there on defense.
Yeah. Well, Fisher with Damaris giving him room. Trying to set something up in the far corner. Back to the cage. Trying to shake and bake at the step on Damaris.
One more.
Pass again dropped.
Yeah,
Good job scooping it, though, off the ground by Ellis. Back to the near side for Chase. Trying to shake off his defender, Andrew Trudell. Shot there, a little wide. It'll stay again with Winnacunnet.
Yeah, Milano moved with that ball really well. He saw it. It was wide anyways, but Chase got his hands extended too, which was good for him.
White behind the cage.
He's beat his man.
Yep. Pass ends up top. Extra feed to the crease.
Oh, yeah.
Over the shoulder. Goes a little bit wide from Fisher. Well, right idea, but couldn't quite make it happen. Meanwhile, Warriors retain possession.
Oh,
Ellis trying to spin his way out of a jam. Bouncing shot
that
broken up.
that hit the defender on the bounce.
Fisher going to track it down, though, again in the far corner. Followed up his own miss. Fisher near side. Damaris right on his hip. Pass top of the box. Stepping into a shot off the post. Ellis nearly rang the bell. Looking for his second, his first since late in the first quarter.
A lot more movement on the offense this half.
Yeah.
A lot more movement.
Yep.
They're really forcing this man-to-man defense now.
Shot. It was a little bit wide. Well,
Going to make a play here.
both offenses seemingly a little more aggressive, too, maybe.
Yeah, we haven't seen much on the Windham side yet, but Winnacunnet certainly has changed their tact a bit. I like it. I don't like static offense.
Warriors have scored twice in this third quarter. They lead 5-4, 5 minutes gone by. Chase going to whip it far side. Back behind the cage again for White.
Yeah, we got them in a zone again.
This is Kimball. Kimball lowering the shoulder. Leaves
There
it
it
up
is.
top. Shot, bouncer. It's a little too high.
Yeah, Wyndham's in a zone themselves here.
Seems like Ellis likes that bouncing shot. Huh?
Yeah, it's coming out of his stick wrong. That's like the third shot today. It's gone down low. It's like popped out of the lower pocket.
Yeah, it hasn't looked quite clean coming out.
No, it's not coming off the strings, that's for sure. Good
Nice
play.
pass. Nice stop, though.
We got
It looked like Milano may have gotten a piece of it.
Yeah,
Whistle here.
That's the right call. He pushed. You got to push.
Yeah.
Even though he
Officials
fell
will
in
let him
crease.
play for the most part, but that's, I think, the second push we've seen called.
Yeah.
And while Chase near side, floats a pass far side, coming up with the midway point, third
There.
quarter. Quick shot. Again, high and wide. And again, we'll stay at this end. Sun back out. Feels good after a brief rain shower in the first half that sent our videographer John Barron scrambling to the car to cover up the cameras, protect that equipment. But it looks like no need. The sun is out, and it's probably the nicest it's been all afternoon. Meanwhile, this one out of his stick and turned over. Well, Fisher.
Good pop, good pop.
Meanwhile, a trap it looked like on the corner. Laying the shoulder was Fisher. Ellis in the mix as well for Winnacunnet. This one ruled out of bounds. Quick restart.
They got numbers.
White, far side. It's a 3-on-2 across the zone. Sets up Chase. Shot. Goes wide and into the parking lot.
Boy,
First time we've really seen an advantage in transition there, either way.
Yeah, other than one fast break we saw there where
with Levine. Right.
Yeah, that's the first good push.
We saw Levine with a highlight-type coast-to-coast finish, one of his 2 goals in that first half for Windham.
Winnacunnet's been this is the second time in this series.
Chase, bouncing shot wide. Sorry, Roger.
No, not at all. They're working a 2-man. They're trying to do something behind at X. With the attack, which is gonna mix things up a little bit against Windham.
Kimball.
They're back in man again. Good play.
Chase. Shot fake. Good close up by Charest. There's the shot.
Beautiful.
And there's the score. It's Jack Ellis. Picking his spots there, Roger. Ellis, his second goal. No, his third. His second of this quarter. Gets the hat trick there with 5 minutes and change to go, third quarter. Largest lead for Winnacunnet of 6-4.
What I saw there was Windham went back into man, and I don't think the defense was really ready to see that quick rotation up top across the midfield, leaving Ellis just wide open by himself.
All 3 third quarter goals have been won by or scored by Winnacunnet. Warriors going to win the face-off here as well.
Yeah, what caused that change in defense, I think, Nick, was because the ball went out of bounds on the previous play, so they had to go with a defender behind, which forced them to go back into man.
Meanwhile, Wool sets up Ellis, who's going to finish it off. Goes low this time and then flexes the muscles. Comes just inside of 5 minutes here, third quarter. Warriors owning this third quarter so far. Building up the largest lead of the game either way. Now it's 7-4.
Well, as we said at the beginning of the game, Ellis is on that all-state watch list, and he's certainly building a resume at this point. That was impressive. He's deceivingly quick for a big kid.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him now, and he's just, he's a big kid. But he finds his spots.
Yeah, he's shiftier than he looks. Pretty good footwork. And
well, I attribute that more to IQ. That's lacrosse IQ. You don't need to be the specimen of an athlete all the time to be successful. He's just finding his spots in those wide open areas. It's really a mismatch with his defender right now too. He should be played by number 38. What's his name? Spallinger. Because he's just got such an advantage in height and weight.
Meanwhile, White on the spin. Warriors looking to build on a 3-goal lead here. They have outscored Windham 4-0 in this third quarter. Shot there deflected. Out of bounds and will stay at this end. Well, the face-off X has been kind to Winnacunnet as well, Roger. By my count, 8-4, which has helped them have an advantage in the time of possession battle. Ellis nearly lost it. Pretty good effort by Furtado, the defender. Now it's Chase near side. Chase back middle. Chase with a shot knocked down. Yep, it's Milano. Ground ball. Spallinger is going to come out of the fray with it. On the run near side, the sophomore with a long pole draws a double team, takes a hit. And then forced out of bounds is Ryan just in front of us. Well, he stepped out of bounds. Why? Because Colin Kimball, number 92 in blue, was right there and made a good defensive play.
We haven't seen Levine on defense. He was playing both ways for the most part in the first half. Don't see.
Yeah, did a lot in that first half. Took a face-off. Saw him, as you mentioned, playing really 2 ways, and And right now, not on this end of the field as we hit 3 minutes, third quarter. Warriors going to turn it over. Simple error there. White couldn't hold it. Charest going to restart. And Windham ready to face a ride here with, again, 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Jaguars hoping for a goal here. They've not scored in this second half. Charest swimming through a sea of blue. Good job. Had his fair share of clears today, as you highlighted, Roger.
Yeah, he's...
And now here is Levine, the star, headed to Syracuse. He's here on the near wing with possession. Levine, 2 goals in that first half, both coming in the second quarter. Windham actually led 2-0 early. Sawyer Hall and Drew Denton scoring in the first 4 minutes. Held a 3-2 edge. Winnacunnet did. Briefly early in the third. Levine's back-to-back scores late in the second. Gave the Jaguars a 4-3 lead at halftime, but since then the Warriors scored 4 unanswered goals in this third quarter. Windham trying to change that here, make it a 2-score game again.
Yeah, Coach Young knows he needs a good possession here. However long it's going to take for them to stop Winnacunnet's scoring streak here.
Levine probing the defense. Patient, still with it, far wing now. Coming up on 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Hall going to work it near side for Denton, the sophomore. Turns on the speed, far side. Back near side, Hall. Closed out well. This is Wools aggressively closing him out. Forcing an errant pass. O'Hara comes charging in. Looking for the ground ball. Instead, Levine smoothly scoops it up far sideline. Inside of 2 minutes now. Levine, top of the box. Still looking to carve it out. O'Hara, got to give him credit too. Roger, he's been on Levine pretty tightly, pretty nicely. Yeah. Forces an across the box pass, near side,
good
looking
patience.
for a shot,
good
and there
patience.
it is.
Good patience.
That is Sawyer Hall, his second. Well, looked like Roger could pull the trigger initially, took a step to his right and got a better shot and cashed in.
Yes, and good for him because, you know, your team's down by 4 goals, 5 goals here. And you want to put something in the net there, but he didn't shoot before he knew he had the better shot. And I think the goalie might have been slightly screened there because it literally went right over his head.
Yeah, that's Rinaldi, the goaltender for Winnacunnet, who has looked good in this first half. Or sorry, this afternoon here in this third quarter. Minute and a half now remaining. And a 2-goal game again, and another Windham face-off win, their 5th. Unofficially, that comes at a good time as well, trying to build some momentum. Yeah, cut this deficit in half here in the final minute approaching.
Yeah, another good possession here is needed. They can pop one here. They can go into the next quarter.
Levine shot goes wide. This is Ryan, final minute. O'Hara giving him room near side. Now Levine.
Still very patient.
Yeah, this is Ryan. Going to be driven out here by Wools. Now Wools retreats a little bit back for Levine. Winds up. Long shot wide. And out of play. Restarted quickly. Ryan, final 25 seconds. Again, Windham trying to make it a 1-goal game after 3.
Well, they want to be on that right side.
Big hit.
Sure.
You could hear it from here. Coming up on the clock was Hunter Janekos. Meanwhile, Levine.
Nice look.
Looks middle. Denton on the finish. Drew Denton just in time with 6 seconds to spare in this third quarter. Back-to-back goals from Windham. And it's just a 1-goal game again at now 7-6.
Yeah, that was a great play. He was just open. They didn't see him in the center. Came out to press on the ball, and I think it was Levine, that is, that may have passed that into him.
Yeah, it was. Levine on the assist, Denton on the score, his second. And again, a one-goal game at 7-6. Final 6 seconds. Warriors going to win the faceoff. Clock ticking. Long shot. Just a bit wide. And that'll do it for the third quarter. A one-score game. Things tight as we head to the fourth. Will the Jaguars get a win on Senior Day, their first of the season, or will Winnacunnet stay unbeaten? We begin to find out next. You are watching the Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. All right, back, fourth quarter. Good game here in Windham. Sun is out, and just a one-score difference as we head to the final 12 minutes of regulation. 7-6 is the Winnacunnet lead. A big third quarter for the Warriors, sparked by senior Jack Ellis. 3 goals in the frame, 4 in the game. And Winnacunnet on the road, hoping for their third victory out of the gate here. Couple of wins last week to kick off the season over the Timberlane Owls. Jaguars, after falling twice to Portsmouth last week, hoping the third time is the charm, so to speak, in game number 3. Senior Day, some good pregame festivities as the 4 seniors honored on the Windham side before we got going today. Athletic Director Mike McCaffrey always doing a good job on that tip. And, well, Windham, it seemed like, came out inspired. They scored the first 2 goals of the game. Winnacunnet responded with 3 unanswered. Took an early 3-2 lead in the second quarter. Nathan Levine, back-to-back goals for Windham, gave the Jaguars a 4-3 advantage at halftime. But then the Warriors, with some face-off wins, Caleb White, Jack Ellis, 4 unanswered for the Warriors as they built up at one point a 3-goal lead of 7-4. But final 2 minutes belonged to the home team. The Jaguars scored twice. Sawyer Hall and Drew Denton both with their second. And that's where we stand here with now the first minute gone by in the fourth quarter. Still a 1-goal game. Warriors 7, Jaguars 6. Full ride here. Windham going to beat it with a foot race.
Nope, he's on the line.
Did he step out of bounds? Yes, he did. It's got the Warrior portion of the crowd excited. By the way, big crowd here.
Yeah,
I don't think we've talked about that. There's a youth team, it looks like, warming up behind us. And
coming in.
Parents on both sides from both schools are here as well. Good to see. Meanwhile, this one will be scooped up by White. And the Jaguar defense going to allow some room here along the perimeter. Nearly 2 minutes in. Well, if you're the trailing team now, Roger, you got to be a little bit more aggressively here in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah.
A little more aggressive?
Yeah, and I think Coach Snow is aware of that, quite frankly. He's changed his offense again from the third quarter. There's a nice 2-man game from behind, but yeah, they've got to force some errors here. They've got to force some turnovers.
Trying to get after it along the sideline there, but to no avail. Good job again by Winnacunnet's Chase, who has not scored a goal, but he's been active. And meanwhile,
yeah.
What do we got here?
Moving pick.
Okay.
Moving pick on Winnacunnet.
The illegal screen's going to allow Charest to get a full head of steam here. Spin move at the midline.
Good job. Good job.
Another clear.
That's 5.
For the senior midi. Yeah. Yeah, he's been busy. Going to come off the field now after handing the ball over to Levine, and now the Jaguars with a chance to tie the game. 3 minutes in, fourth quarter. Attack settling in for the first time in this frame.
We say it a lot in this game, but they do need a good, solid possession here. Good quality shot.
Levine and Hall. Hall looking for a shot.
Nice save.
Run out, yep. Able to get down on one knee to scoop that one. Now a long outlet pass. Taken in at the midfield line. It's Cooper Canali. Long pole, got rid of it quickly. Ellis takes over here near side. Yeah. Ellis, the high man today with 4 goals.
Again, Ellis's IQ. Don't force the ball in. Get the ball, possess it. Get your guys changed over. Keep the clock on your side.
Yep.
Good, smart play.
Trying to protect this 1-goal lead and now trying to extend it. Already nearly 4 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Fisher, after initially dropping the pass, got the step shot. Didn't quite materialize. The ball flew out of his stick. Hunted down now behind the cage and unable to quite get a grasp on it as Caleb White couldn't get there. Taken away, and now the outlet from Milano taken by Hall. Hall crossed the line. Jaguars hoping to tie the game. Hall going to slow it up here on the near wing.
If I'm Windham, I'm going to be shooting from this side of the field with the sun, which is really playing into Levine's strengths and Ryan's strengths.
Yeah, the goaltender is, I guess, somewhat. You're right. Got to deal with that. It's over our shoulder here on the near side.
Pop it.
Good pass. Nice. Shot and score. It is O'Connor. Well, we saw him, Roger. He's perhaps the smallest player height-wise. Excuse me. On the field. Yeah. And snuck in back door there, as we saw in the first half. Got a good shot off. Didn't work for him back in the second quarter. This one does, and it ties the game at 7 with just about 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, when I got here early today and I saw them warming up, Windham puts their warm-ups in groups, and I could have sworn that kid was a freshman just looking at him. His skill, he's a junior.
Yeah.
He's a junior, but his skills is what I noticed most, that certainly paid off. That was a good goal.
Yeah, not a great angle, but made it work. Certainly good position there along the near pole. And now a timeout from Winnacunnet. It's going to come with just under 5 minutes gone by. Fourth quarter, we are tied at 7. Both teams, as we mentioned, with different motivations here. Winnacunnet hoping to stay unbeaten, while Windham, after an 0-2 start, looking for their first win. Well, I think, Roger, it's a good time now to take a look at some other action from around Division II. As was quite a busy scoreboard, or a busy schedule in both D1 and D2. I guess we'll start in D1. Bedford at Salem tonight. Bulldogs favored in that one. Pinkerton at BG, of course, that's the gem. And we'll be in Derry on Thursday for the rematch. BG at Pinkerton. By the way, we have an Exeter score to get to. They are at Souhegan tonight, according to our friend Alex Hall on Twitter. After 3, Exeter a big lead of 16-1 over a good Souhegan team. That gives you an idea how good maybe Exeter
on defense
really is. And then one other game in D1 tonight, Merrimack is at Londonderry. D2, Alvern at Central. Bow is in Pembroke tonight. Cole Brown hosting Merrimack Valley. Conval on the road at Monadnock and Goffstown and Derryfield. That's always a feisty one. They get together tonight in Manchester. So that's to look at D1 and 2 tonight. A busy Tuesday statewide on the lacrosse scene. Meanwhile, here in Windham, we approach the midway point fourth quarter, and it's anybody's guess. O'Hara with a rare shot. The point guard on the basketball team goes wide there. It will stay, though, At this end, O'Hara's been active more defensively tonight. I think that's the first shot he's taken.
Yeah, we haven't called his name since the first quarter, I don't think. But I like what Coach Snow did there with calling that timeout, Nick. You got to settle your guys down a little bit, play smart lacrosse.
Meanwhile, White, perhaps a rush shot there from a tough angle. Chase, Johnny Hustle there on the far side, able to keep it here.
Watch Ellis on this play. They've pulled him out way up at the top.
He's been quiet in this fourth quarter. Ellis, a big third quarter with 3 of his 4 goals.
Boy, that's been a killer for Winnacunnet today.
That's a wild pass. Yep, it goes out of bounds. Another perhaps avoidable turnover.
Yeah, that's got to be the 4th or 5th unforced error by them where it's just killed an offensive drive or in possession. They cleaned that up.
Comes just at the midway point here, fourth quarter. So each possession bigger than the one before it at this point in the game.
Yeah,
Jaguars. Looked like the game was perhaps slipping away from them. They fell behind by as many as 3. Kind of late in that third quarter, but able to rally and respond with 2 goals in the final 2 minutes to close the gap to 1. And then junior Matthew O'Connor a moment ago tied the game at 7. Now the Jaguars looking for their first lead since halftime. Inside of 6 minutes. This is Ryan. Push back top of the box, far side. Hall coming near side. Levine going to take over.
They're going to want him in his right hand here.
Trying to set him up far side with a screen. Near side, Hall trying to get something one-on-one. A spin,
nice look.
A cut, and a
beautiful
shot, and a score.
Beautiful.
Drew Denton with his 3rd goal. And what a time for the sophomore to come up with a hat trick. He gives the Jaguars the lead at 8-7 with 5:23 to go here in regulation.
Wow, what a nice play there by Charest. He was patient, looked like he was going to dodge to his right, rolled back into his left, and just a light pop on the inside to Denton. Goalie had no chance on that one.
Meanwhile, Warriors get a big face-off win. They needed that. They've had a slight edge at the X by my count. Well, quite an edge, actually, of, I think, 10-6 by my count, but that could be wrong.
The unofficial count.
Right. Inside of 5 minutes.
Good pick.
Warriors trying to tie the game. Held a 3-goal lead earlier in this half. Kimball coming middle. Absorbing some hits. Going to stay on his feet. Looks for a cutter. White off the post. Ground ball scooped up by the long pole Burke. And now Burke full head of steam. Trying to set up Ryan off the bounce. And now Ryan wisely with the lead. Going to pump the brakes here and work a little clock.
Good play. Good play by Ryan.
Jaguars making winning plays here in the fourth quarter. And again, in no hurry here as we head towards 4 minutes to go. Well, this may force the Warriors to play a little bit out of their comfort zone. They're used to that packed-in zone, and now, by necessity, going to have to come out and challenge here.
Indeed.
Of course, no shot clock in the NHIAA.
Yeah, it's been funny to watch the refs a couple of times. Both these refs here, Tyler Leeds and Tony Palamisano, they also do collegiate games, and I've seen them wave their hands a couple of times on saves where the clock would be resetting normally in collegiate ball, but not the case at high school. Not yet.
That shot clock rule at the NCAA level hasn't even been around that long, right?
About 3 or 4
years. Tops, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of the best rule changes I've seen.
Yeah, it's really improved.
Yeah, it eliminates what you're seeing on the field right now. You're creating action and forcing action, no matter what the score is.
Yep. The NBA figured that out a long time ago, back in the 50s.
Exactly. Yeah, I like the way they instituted it. It doesn't mean you can't still take 80 seconds at the collegiate level and burn the clock, but you're not going to see it just being held for, well, in this case, it could be 4 minutes here.
Right. It's already been 1:15 here. Inside of 3 minutes. If you're Coach Snow, you got to give the signal, give the order, right, from the sideline, go ahead, and we may have just seen that here as here come the Warriors trying to make something happen. Hall's going to float a high pass far side. Ended up being a nice pass. Levine was ready for it, and Levine now with it. Trying to shake off a couple of guys far side. Going to jog now behind the cage to the near side. 2:15 to go.
Not a good matchup here for Winnacunnet.
McDougal, the long stick on Levine.
Go right back into zone.
And back out for Ryan Farwing. Up top, Hall. No interest in a shot here.
This is one of the dangers you end up with when you play nothing but zone all the time. You can't turn the switch on and go into a man set and be aggressive with the surety. You're not going to get beat on the corners.
Levine left unaccompanied for a moment. Switch comes over. It's Woolley. Already, Roger, inside of 2 minutes, down to the final 100 seconds. Jaguars, they could smell their first win. Instead, Woolley able to force a loose ball, ground ball, momentarily scooped up by Levine. Conley had it for a moment as well. It's still on the ground. Near side, Woolley, who wants it. Hall in and out, and now it is the other way. Fisher in a full sprint. Winnacunnet looking to tie the game. Final minute 15. Shot! Score! A one-man wrecking crew. That is Cole Fisher. Comes up with the ground ball after a lengthy battle. And then nearly, Roger, goes the length of the field to tie the game at 8 with 1:14 to go.
I really thought the Jaguars had that ball down here on their offensive side of the field. Just a couple of missteps. This is one of the hazards with natural grass, too. But my goodness, I thought they were going to be pushing it over to Ellis. He looked a little bit more open, but Fisher, he was right there. Second goal of the game.
Yep. Fisher, who scored his first early on in the second quarter, ties the game with 1:14 to go. And now a huge face-off win by Winnacunnet. And I believe a timeout from the Warrior sideline as well. We'll stop the clock with 1:05 to go. So just when it looked like Winnacunnet was about to suffer their first defeat of the season, now it looks like they may snatch victory from the jaws of defeat here if they can execute something in the final minute 5.
How appropriate a cliche. I want to see what Coach Snow comes out in here. And on the other side of the ball, Windham has gone from zone a couple of times. The zone seemed to look pretty tight and good there when they ran it. But I fully expect them to come out and man here. Watch for the gun. Watch for Ellis. See if they try to isolate him somewhere to the goalies. Probably this side of the field, I would think, because he'll have a better chance of getting a good shot off. But this is exciting.
Yeah, you can't ask for a better potential finish here. 8-8. Final minute 5 of regulation. Overtime, perhaps, in order.
And another one-goal game.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing more and more of that.
Two of the better, perhaps, programs in Division II. Certainly two of the growing programs in a lot of ways. And it's been tight throughout. Windham at one point trailed by as many as 3. Jaguars a moment ago held a 1-goal lead until Cole Fisher tied the game with 1:14 to go. And now we enter the final minute here, fourth quarter. Warriors in possession.
Get the ball to Ellis.
There is Ellis, number 94 in blue. High pass near side. Fisher given room by Charest. Lobs a pass far side. Ellis. He's got a long pole on him. Comes back near side. Fisher, 35 seconds. Given room by Charest. Now Charest trying to close the gap. Fisher going to bring in behind the cage. Final 30 seconds. Back near side. Here's the move. Shot
slow.
Denied. Milano with a beautiful stop on the doorstep. Bounce pass far side handled by Trudell, and now the Jaguars trying to work the final 15 seconds. Levine.
Timeout.
And a timeout is called by Joe Young from the Windham sidelines. That stops the clock with 14 seconds to go. Just enough time, Roger, for Coach Young to draw something up here.
You and I talked about the goaltenders switch at halftime, and Milano was right there.
Yep.
We talked about positioning, a couple other things that I noticed from the goaltending side of things, but Milano was in perfect spot right there. Late slide from Windham, but he was right there, and a quick pass upfield to get it over the timeline to give Windham an opportunity here.
Just an all-around heads-up play by the goaltender, Milano.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned, he came off the bench as senior Stanley Jazokos got the start here on senior day for Windham, but Milano, after, I guess, a rough start to that second half, remember, Winnacunnet reeled off 4 unanswered in that third quarter, built up a lead as large as 3 before Windham scored twice in the final minute and scored twice to begin this fourth quarter. But he's been rock solid, with the exception of that goal allowed a moment ago by Cole Fisher. All right, here we go. Final 14 seconds. Jaguars a chance to win.
Watch for the roll from the crease for Levine.
This is Ryan, 7 seconds. Pass off target behind Levine and out of play. Still 1.9 seconds remaining. They're going to add, I think, a second. Yep, they're saying 3 seconds. Woolley has it at the, on the far sideline, about three-quarter, at the three-quarter field mark. He's going to just heave this one up. Hail Mary. It's going to bounce wide of the goal, and we are going to overtime. We'll keep it right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire's Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. 8-8 after 4 full quarters here in Windham. Jaguars hoping for their first win of the season. Winnacunnet looking to stay unbeaten and improve to 3-0.
Well, I got to tell you, we talked a little bit about college there a second, and you hear it all the time in broadcasts of lacrosse games. It is a game of runs. Mm-hmm. Lacrosse is a game of runs. It's a game of whatever side has got the momentum, and that second half was just a portrait of that. Mm-hmm. 4 straight goals by one team, 4 straight goals by the other team, and then we're back here 8-8 for overtime.
Yeah, you're right. It was a 4-0 run out of the gate to begin the second half. Winnacunnet, after trailing 4-3 at halftime, rattled off the 4 unanswered and led at 1.74, and then, you're right, 4 unanswered by Windham. Sawyer Hall, Drew Denton, Matthew O'Connor, Drew Denton again. Put the Warriors in a tough predicament there, down by 1 inside of 4 minutes with the Jaguars in possession. But in the final minute and change, Warriors forced the turnover, and then Cole Fisher goes the length of the field to cash in and tie the game at 8, and that is where we are as we begin overtime. 4 minutes on the board, 8-8 still the score, and it's Levine who comes up with a prime-time face-off win for Windham. Hasn't taken many at the X today, Roger, but when the chips are down, Coach Young saying, Levine, you're the guy, and he comes up in a big spot. Now he's going to make his way towards the goal.
Got it.
He's going to fire, and Ronald is ready.
Wow.
Ronald says, no way is the game going to end there. Comes up with a big stop. Now the Warriors have to deal with the ride here with 3.5 to go. Long pass from the goaltender, handled by Fisher. Fisher, man on his back, comes near side. Ellis swings it far side for White. Now the Warriors are looking to end things on a high note here as we head towards 3 minutes to go in this overtime. See how aggressive Windham's going to be defensively, Roger, is something I'm going to watch for here.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful. Winnacunnet's got the size advantage, so you don't want to overcommit too much.
Meanwhile, Merrick trying to get something going. Up top, Ellis. Lob pass, far side, again behind the target. White had to sprawl out to make an effort, but couldn't get there. It's turned back over to the Jaguars.
Another unforced error.
2:40 to go. Another full ride from Winnacunnet. Charest, he's been the top clear guy. Trying to keep it in his stick against two defenders. He's knocked down.
No flag.
Keeps it in play. The officials letting him go. Still loose. Chase to it for Winnacunnet. Officials swallowing the whistles here inside of the final 3 minutes. Inside of 2.5 now. Coming up on 2:15 to go in OT.
Yeah, Winnacunnet gets new life here after that unforced error.
They've been good on the ground balls as well. Kimball. Seemingly no hurry as the clock hits 2 minutes.
Like to hear the defense talk a little more here.
And I see a lot of heads turning on the weak side.
Yes.
They're trying to figure it out.
And Milano's talking.
Meanwhile, Fisher swung, Chase, top of the box. Near side, White, who scored twice. Now Merrick. Merrick working his way behind the cage.
White and Ellis switch
One-on-one with Hall.
There he is.
There's the pass, there's the score, and there's the win.
That's the win.
Caleb White sends us home with 1:28 to go in overtime. The Warrior bench rushing the field. Winnacunnet now 3-0 following a 9-8 overtime victory here in Windham. What a game.
Boy, what a game. And the minute I saw that switch from the crease with Ellis coming back up to the top of the box and White going down, they had put the defense to sleep essentially. And he was wide open. He had not been trailed going through the box.
9-8 the final. White, who scored Winnacunnet's first goal at about the midway point of the first quarter, fittingly scores their final goal and the final goal of the game as White ends up with a hat trick. Back to wrap it up here in Windham in just a moment, plus an out-of-town scoreboard update as we put the finishing touches on our game of the week. Again, the win goes to Winnacunnet, 9-8 in overtime. Back with more in a moment. You are watching the Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.
Is your company interested in showcasing your brand to thousands of high school sports fans across New Hampshire? If not, why not? And if so, let's go. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire is seeking sponsorship partners. It's the perfect way for your company to get out in front of the moms and dads who make up our community. Help us help you, and we can grow together. If you're interested in partnering with Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, then email us at fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. That's fnlnhmedia@gmail.com. Join our team today. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. The New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com.
Well, Caleb White, the hero for Winnacunnet. In his first varsity action, scores a hat trick, including the game winner in overtime, as they get the job done and are now 3-0 to begin this 2021 campaign. Windham, a good effort tonight. Unfortunately for Jaguar fans, now 0-3 after slipping in that overtime session. But, boy, what a game tight throughout. Windham on senior night. They honored their 4 seniors before the game. They scored the goals, or the first 2 goals of the contest, and led 2-0 about midway through the first quarter. Warriors, though, responded with goals from Caleb White, Jack Ellis, and Cole Fisher. 3 unanswered gave them a 3-2 lead early in the second quarter. Syracuse commit Windham senior Nathan Levine, back-to-back goals late in the first half. Gave the home team a 4-3 edge at halftime. And then early third quarter, it looked like Winnacunnet not only took the lead, but looked like they were going to roll as White, and then 3 straight by Jack Ellis, made it 7-4 Warriors late in the third quarter. Windham, though, took advantage of the closing seconds. 2 goals in the final 2 minutes, 1 from Sawyer Hall and 1 from Drew Denton, made it a 1-score difference of 7-6 in favor of the Warriors after 3. Windham's Matthew O'Connor able to go undetected backdoor to tie the game at 7, and then Drew Denton's third goal put the Jaguars briefly ahead 8-7 at about the 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter. But then the Warriors force a turnover in the final minute plus. Cole Fisher goes the length of the field to tie the game at 8. We go to OT. Warriors get themselves a stop, and then Caleb White cashes in on his third with less than 2 minutes to go in that first overtime, and that is it. Windham, a 9-8 winner on the road tonight here in Windham.
Great game. Just a great game. I said before the game started I didn't know that much about the Windham program, other than what I had read a few years ago when I was, coaching and following things. They impressed me today. They did. I thought it was going to be a Levine-Ryan heavy game. 5 different goal scorers for Windham, and they hung in there to the very end. Little bit more discipline and experience on the Winnacunnet side, I think, is the reason why they pulled this one out. Hey, they get to rematch or see each other again in a rematch on Thursday.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, some of the Windham fans and Warrior fans, actually, here in Windham,
getting a live play-by-play call.
Yeah, they were enjoying it, I guess. So, anyway, we enjoyed it, that's for sure, as this one ends up being about as close of a game as you're going to see this season. 9-8, again, the final, as Winnacunnet gets it done. Reminder, BG and Pinkerton, they're squaring off tonight. Perhaps 2 of the best teams in the state. And we'll be there on Thursday in Derry for the rematch. We're looking forward to that already. That's a 5:30 Eastern Time start. Elsewhere tonight, it looks like Exeter was on their way to another big win, an impressive win over Souhegan. At last look through 3 quarters, it was a 16-1.
That is now final, Nick, 16-2.
16-2 the final. Exeter still unbeaten and looking just as good as anybody as well. Roger, your final thoughts here on not just the game itself, but we both got a first-hand look at the programs here, and both look to be in pretty good shape moving forward.
I would say, and one of the things that I've talked to several coaches in the last couple of weeks, about the health of New Hampshire lacrosse, and although we are seeing the Levines of the world going to top-notch division schools, one of the things that we know. We were seeing, I don't want to say weakness, but we're seeing a pattern in this valley of the youth programs. And having been on that side of lacrosse in the state of New Hampshire for many, many, many years, Hampton, the Seacoast area, always has a very, very good youth program. And Windham has been up and coming over the years with their youth program. So, again, you're seeing that quality. The other thing is, Windham had a real light roster today. We talked about it. They had 17 rostered varsity players, and 3 of them were goalies.
Right.
So, with 14 players against the 25 deep Winnacunnet team, the talent has to be there for you to be able to hold up against that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But, again, flashes, they were in control and certainly had a pretty good shot of closing this one down. But Winnacunnet makes the last couple of big plays, and that ends up being the difference as, again, the Warriors win it 9-8.
And a clean game. We had, I think, 2 penalties,
if that,
and
right?
1 extra man offensive goal.
Yeah.
But very clean. Which, hey, is another testament to the program and the coaching.
And the officials.
Right. And I thought there was a penalty there in the first couple of minutes of the first overtime. But give it to the refs for letting them play.
Yeah.
And not being petty about it.
Yeah, that's my style.
Yeah, there we go.
For
That's
sure.
my style.
Right. All right. We will say goodbye. I want to thank Mike McCaffrey and his staff here at Windham for giving us the green light. We certainly appreciate that. Of course, our videographer getting everything set up. Our engineer as well, John Barron, doing a great job. Our producer today back at the Beals Insurance Studios, as he always is Ben Beals. The executive producer down in Florida is Steve Beals. My partner is Roger Howe. My name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time, in overtime. Winnacunnet 9, Windham 8. This has been a presentation of the Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.